Salve discipuli ego sum magistra buddy, and this is the Stage 8 lesson on accusative plurals. Quick review of all of our case functions. The nominative is either the subject or subject complement. For example, the kid sits. We know that the kid is the subject because the kid is doing the verb. Also in English, the subject comes before the verb. The kid is smart. This is an example of a subject complement use. So the kid is the subject. Is a linking verb. Smart is completing the subject. So it's a subject complement. Think of is as an equals sign. Accusative. Accusative could either be a direct object, or if it's going with a preposition, it's the object of a preposition. For example, the kid throws the ball. The ball is directly receiving the action of the verb. What's being thrown? The ball. So that's the direct object. In English, the direct object comes after the verb. He throws the ball into the net. Net is the object of a preposition because into the net is a prep phrase. Also, ablatives can be the object of a preposition. The kid sits in the kitchen. In the kitchen is a prep phrase telling us the location where the kid is sitting. All right, noun endings. Here's our case lists. Here's our first declension, I, and now we have os. Os is the accusative plural. Second declension, we're going to throw a little bit of a twist in there. Sometimes, not incredibly often, but sometimes the second declension nominative singular can end in an ER. Most of the time it's US, as we've seen so far. O, E, and then we have os for our accusative plural. Third declension, we've got odd, ace, and then the accusative plural is also ace. You may wonder, how am I going to know if I'm looking at a plural subject versus a plural direct object? We will practice that. Don't worry too much about it. And some examples. So porta, portam, porta, portai, portas. Puer, puerum, puero, pueri, pueros. Pace, pedem, pede, pedes, pedes. All right, quick note about prepositions. These are all the prepositions we have so far. Going with the ablative, we've got in, e or x, or cum. Going with the accusative, we've got ad, per, and prope. So the dog is in the street, the dog runs out of the street, the dog runs with Quintus, the dog runs to the street, the dog runs through the street, the dog runs near the house. All right, that may have seemed pretty simple, but let's go ahead and do some practice. Copy down these 8 sentences. If you've got an ablative or an accusative going with a preposition, put it in parentheses, set it aside as a prep phrase. Circle any connectors you may have. If you've got an action verb, put a V over it. If you've got a linking verb, put an LV over it. If you've got a nominative, mark it as your subject, or if it's following a linking verb, it's probably a subject complement. If you have any remaining accusatives that are not going with a preposition, mark them as your direct object. All right, pause the video, do all that, and then unpause it, and we'll check your work. All right, discipuli, first sentence, servus agricolas interfecit. Servus is nominative singular, it's our subject. We've got an accusative plural here, one of our new endings, that's our direct object. Interfecit. This is a singular verb, it's perfect tense. The slave killed the farmers. Notice how I translated it as farmers, not farmer, because it's a plural direct object. All right, centurio servos laudavit. We've got a singular subject. We've got a plural accusative here, so that's our plural direct object. We've got a singular verb, perfect tense. The centurion praised the slaves. Senex auctorem ad forum duxit. All right, so I've got an accusative here going with a preposition, so I'm going to set that aside. I have a nominative here, that's our odd box. I've got another accusative here, just hanging out by itself, so it's a direct object. And I've got a perfect tense singular verb. Singular subject, singular verb. The old man led the actor to the forum. Amicus fabulas narravit, singular subject, plural direct object, because it's a plural accusative. Narravit, we've got a perfect tense singular verb. So the friend told stories. Amiciaculam et servos salutaverunt. We've got a connector here. What's it connecting? It's connecting two direct objects. One is singular, the other's plural. Doesn't matter, they have the same function. That's what matters. They are the same because they are both direct objects. All right, so we've got a subject here. It's a plural subject, which makes sense because we got a plural verb. It's a perfect tense. The friends praised the slave girl and slaves. Agriculae nuntios audiverunt. All right, we've got a plural subject here. We've got a plural direct object here. We've got a plural verb, perfect tense. The farmers heard the messengers. Puer actores ad theatrum duxit. All right, so we've got ad theatrum, prep phrase. We've got puer, nominative singular, actores. Remember I told you that that could be nominative or accusative plural. How did I know that this was the direct object? Well, puer right here can only be one thing. Puer can only be nominative. Furthermore, our verb is singular. So in order for this to be nominative, and therefore the subject, we would have to have a plural verb. Plural subject, plural verb. Oh, no, we don't have a plural verb. We have a singular verb. So this can't be our subject. It has to be the direct object. It forces it into the other option. All right, so the boy led the actors to the theater. Okay, Agriculum gladiatores laudaverunt. We've got another time here where we've got the es. Are we looking at a subject, es, or are we looking at a direct object, es? Well, let's look at our other clues. What can this be? Well, this can only be the direct object. So that's definitely our direct object. This, our verb, is plural. So if we have a plural subject, we can handle a plural. We have a plural verb, we can handle a plural subject. And that's what we've got. I flipped the word order on you a little bit just to trick you and hopefully throw you off. Keep you on your toes. Remember, Latin doesn't rely so much on word order. It relies on endings. So the gladiators praised the farmer. We know that it's not the farmer praised the gladiators because of our endings. All right, just to recap, the usual recap. English relies on word order to indicate function, but Latin relies on endings to indicate function. Discipuli, make sure you know your endings. Our endings are adding up. We're getting quite a few, and we're only going to get more. So make sure you're on top of your endings before we proceed. Vale to discipuli.